Do you look around Texas and wonder if every other person you talk to has a genetic mutation?
I do, actually. I'm always curious about... I think we all have mutations. We all have tons of mutations.
Tosh Show. Tosh Show. Tosh Show for show.
Hang 10. It's Dan Tosh with Eddie Gosling.
What's up, Dan Tosh?
Woo!
What you got for us today, big guy? Sit back and
You know what I'm
enjoy
doing
it.
right now?
What are you doing?
Pause.
What you doing?
I'm waiting for AI to take over.
Hey, man.
You in.
Go ahead, AI.
What you're doing? You're okay. Playing with fire.
Go ahead, AI. See what you can do.
Yeah, I don't
That's
see
what I
anything
thought.
happening. Nothing.
AI thinks it's got me. No, it doesn't got me.
You got it.
You think you don't need me. You need me. Ed, you don't need me.
I need you, buddy.
Oh, that's the nicest thing. Hey, I got a new chicken.
Okay.
Okay? This breeder, I don't know if they're called a breeder or whatever. These people that we get chickens from somebody, they just reached out and said, "Hey, I got this Polish hen. They're not sexed yet," meaning they don't know if it's a rooster or a hen, but they're like, "If you'd like it, they're yours." Well, I had to do a quick Google search, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness. That's beautiful." Much like what's her name? Who's the big golden girl? Be like a B. Arthur the group.
I see that.
Yeah, like a little B. Arthur. You got the little chickens, and then you got this. And I'm like, yes. So anyway, they brought this Polish hen over. And she's big. She's big. Now, I know it's a she because she started laying. But the other day, I got an egg from her, and I just couldn't wrap my head around it. I'm like, what is this? And I brought it in.
Okay.
It's an egg. Now, you have to understand that these chickens lay small eggs to begin with. They're like this. This is like a normal egg that they lay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's covered. That's got poop on it. That's poop.
Nice.
That's poop. Okay? But it's dried. You can scratch that poop off if you want.
Flicking my way.
Yeah, there you go. Catch it. But this egg, you put two of those together and you're fine. You're good to go. It's a good egg. Some of them are bigger than others. Their shapes they're all covered in crap. Yeah, but what you're getting the gist.
I am.
Okay? I'm going to keep those on my desk. All of a sudden I get this egg.
What? That looks like a candy egg.
Raw. No. So I look it up. When a new hen, sometimes it can happen when they get frightened.
Okay.
Or just like when they just are starting to lay, it's called a fart egg.
A fart egg?
Yeah, and usually fart eggs don't have a yolk. Now, I don't know. I haven't opened it yet. I'm dying to do it right now. Now, you know who loves eggs?
Pete.
Pete
does.
Pete loves eggs. So guess what? I brought Pete in a whole slew of eggs today.
This is from Tosh Farms?
This is from my farm. Look at how much poop is on this egg,
There's so
Pete.
much turds on these.
Look at that one. That one is just covered in shit.
That was a tough get out.
Okay? That was a stubborn egg. But look at this one. Look at right here. This one's beautiful. There's a big egg.
Yeah.
Next to a little fart egg.
Little fart egg.
So I'm dying to know. Pete, you wanna put this in a little tiny cup and pretend you're Rocky?
Yeah.
You just drink this little fart egg? What can I put this fart egg in?
Here, we got a mug right here.
Yeah, okay. Now, normally you'd need 2 fart eggs to knock. That's how you break eggs. You like to break an egg against the other egg.
Okay.
That's how I like to crack eggs. You crack eggs on the rim?
I do.
I don't.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's bad, Ed. I'll tell you why it's bad.
Yeah.
Flat surface.
Because then you end up getting egg yolk on the backside of your pots, and it just stains. It doesn't look good. You should crack them together or a flat surface straight down. But I'm scared because I don't know if I can actually get my fingers into this, and I don't want to lose whatever's in it.
Right.
So maybe I will try to crack it inside a little bit. What if something's... Guess what?
Hard as a rock.
I didn't make any progress.
Oh, there she is.
Dry as a cucumber. Look at that. Now there's like a black... Oh no, that's not the shell. What is this? So inside, maybe it dried up because this happened quite a few days ago.
Treasure map?
No, but like it's like, you see how it's?
The baby?
Can you see? It almost looks like glass.
Oh.
Huh. Well, that's my first fart egg. Well, Pete, come get your loot.
You just chew on this one, buddy.
I think Pete should down all those eggs right now.
You excited about all these eggs? How many eggs did I give you there? That's more than a dozen.
Shit.
Oh, you know what else? I got a new mandarin tree. Well, this is like the first harvest year. And I'm told on your first year, you're better off clipping all the fruit and letting it go. You're agreeing with me, right, John?
Yes.
So I clipped all my fruit. It wasn't mature. They're too sour. They're too small. But then it'll help it grow for next year.
For sure.
So here, I got about a couple thousand baby mandarins. Are any of them edible? I don't know.
Let's try it. Fart mandarin.
I'm not doing that. You guys are the tasters. But I thought that John would like this because he gave me those apples that were horrible.
His
So
orchard,
I
yeah.
thought maybe I could give him a bunch of mandarins for his children to play with. At least if they dig their fingernails in there, their fingernails will smell nice.
Okay. Thank
Here you go, John. This is for you. Bull sucks. So that's what's going on over there at Tosh Farms.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. You know how long it took me to do one tree of produce like that?
How much?
Like 15 minutes. Then I went over to a lemon tree. I was going to do something similar. I was just going to harvest. And I always forget that lemon trees are made from the thorn of Jesus's crown.
Please,
They're just straight knives
they bite
that
back.
stick out.
Yeah.
They do
Is
not
that
want
what
you-
they put on top of Jesus's head on the crucifix?
Yeah, lemon thorns.
Lemon-
Just a
lemon
just a
branches.
branch of lemons?
Mm-hmm.
Good gosh, lemon trees are pokey.
Yeah. It's almost like that's the forbidden fruit.
Hey, has your hen laid any eggs since the fart egg?
Yeah,
Yeah, fine. They all seem
they're
normal.
great.
Okay.
The Polish hen is great. Speaking of eggs, we got some good eggs on today's show. You guys are going to get to meet one of the true joys of my family. My niece will be joining us, who was born with a ultra rare neurological disorder. And Lord knows she's had to go through 100 times what any human should ever have to go through in life. But she's positive and she's happy and she's wonderful to be around. And thanks to brilliant minds like today's guest, new research promises to improve her quality of life and longevity. That's win-win. Enjoy.
Tosh Show.
My guest today is by far my favorite niece on my wife's side of the family. She's 1 in 276,666,666.66, repeating, of course, literally. Please welcome Hadley. Thank you for being here. How are you doing today?
Go.
Okay, ready for your first question?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
You don't believe in ghosts?
No.
Good for you. So smart. Okay. Next question I ask all my guests. Are boys gross?
No.
No. Is there someone interesting in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hadley, how old are you?
9.
19.
No, not.
What?
9.
9. When is your birthday?
November. Well,
November 4th. And what do you want for your birthday?
I puppy toy.
You just love puppies. Do you like your dog?
Yeah, but it's a good puppy doggy.
Betty. How old is Betty now?
Whoa.
Do you like my pig Potato?
Yes.
Are you scared of Potato?
No.
Would you take Potato home if I said you could have him?
Yeah.
Okay, this is good to know. Because you know your parents, they'll get you anything you want. Like you start saying, hey, Mom, I want a weird cat that's no one ever heard of. Next thing you know, you have this exotic cat. What is your cat's name?
Doggo cookie.
Sugar Cookie. Do you go to school?
Yeah.
Is school hard?
No.
Any cute boys in your class?
Yeah.
There are?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Who do you like in your class?
Body.
Oh, Bodie. Do you have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Is it serious?
No.
Not yet? All right. You were a big fan of Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Ed Sheeran song?
All of them.
All of them?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's got a couple stinkers. They all sound the same. Is that what you meant to say?
No.
Okay. Hey, you got really good at swimming.
Yeah.
Although yesterday you had a bit of a belly flop.
There you go.
Oh,
But I'm less good in your pool.
you're pretty good in my pool. Now, do we want to go surfing again?
Yeah.
The surf is pretty big right now. Can you be honest with me? Who is your favorite uncle? Go ahead.
Uncle Daniel.
That's right. That's right. Did you hear that, Chase? Uncle Daniel. Okay, Hadley. Do you have any questions for me? Go ahead.
What is your favorite kind of dog?
What's my favorite kind of dog?
Yeah.
It's for me to own versus my favorite kind. I think my favorite dog might be a Whippet. And they're like skinny little greyhounds or small gray. They're the fastest. They're so fast. I think that's beautiful. But I also love an Australian Shepherd. They're beautiful with the different colored eyes. I like that. You have pretty eyes. But I mean, I kind of just like Carl.
All right.
You know, he's just he's kind of a cuddly little Muppet.
Yeah.
Although he does eat my daughter's poop, and that's disgusting.
No.
I know. Everybody that's on my show gets a gift. Okay?
Okay.
So I have to give you some gifts. You ready?
Yeah. Hope little puppy.
The first gift is this chicken. Now, this chicken was made by somebody from Panda's life. I think her aunt made her this chicken. But anyway, she put it in my Airstream. I'm like, I don't want that chicken in there. I'm going to give it to Hadley. So here, you get that. Okay, put that on the floor. You're not going to... Then, you can just drop it, Hadley. Hadley, then, you like to look at this photo all the time, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep, well, now it's your photo. And it's got my pig, my dogs, my chickens all in it, wearing birthday hats. Okay, you get that now. You can throw it on the floor. Don't worry about it. Now, this gift, it's probably more for your mom, but you can use it with her. Because the people, when I do my shows at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas, there's the free plug. I steal all the bathroom products. And your mom happens to like the bathroom products that are there. So I'm just going to give them to you, and then you can pass them on to your mom. Oh, yeah, she's going to love them. She's going to love these. Oh, you're going to love them. And you can use them, too. Make your hair smell delicious. How often do you wash your hair?
5 times.
5, that's a lot. Probably too much, to be honest with you. You might be drying it out. Anyway, this product, so this is really good. What is this called? Orby? Oh, yeah, it's expensive stuff. Oh, do you ever wear a face mask?
No.
Oh, well, your skin looks lovely. You could try these. They have face masks too. This is great. What do you think of all this? We're just going to push this all over there. You know the drill. Throw it to the floor, Hadley. Just do it, Hadley. Just do it. Throw it. Throw it. All of it. There we go. Oh, that's perfect, Hadley. Thank you for respecting the desk. Hey, I have one more gift for you. Now, you know Panda.
Yeah.
You know her brother, John?
No.
He was in Mexico. He got a hand job from a masseuse. I don't even want to go into that.
Yeah.
Okay. He always buys me gifts. I always end up giving them away. Anyway, he bought me a pair of shoes, and guess what?
Yeah.
I loved them. I go, perfect. I love pink. I think they're pink and like a blue. Anyway, I grab them. I see that they're 12s. I try to put it on. It doesn't even, I go, this doesn't look right. And it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit at all. It was like a women's 12 in a different country or something. I don't know. Anyway, the only man I know that has feet small enough to fit these is your father. I'm so excited to give them to you. You can give them to your dad. Okay? Oh, he's going to love them. They're great. Look at these. You think your dad will like those shoes?
Yeah.
Again, I don't understand. I mean, those aren't 12s. Oh, man. What size does your dad wear? A 7, 7.5? It's not. It doesn't matter. Anyway. You give these to your father. You tell him, good luck beating me in pickleball. It says right there, look, it says size 12. It's not a 12. I don't know if it's women's or what, but whatever. Anyway, give those to your father. Thanks for putting it on the floor.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. This episode is brought to you by Pocket Hose, the world's #1 expandable hose. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot. But the Copperhead's pocket pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. Plus, super light, ultra durable pocket hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. The brand new pocket hose Copperhead with pocket pivot is a total game changer. I hate coiling up an old rubber hose as much as the next guy. Actually, probably less. I don't mind it. I got nothing to do. But Eddie, on the other hand, he hates coiling up a hose.
Coiling.
You watering in the yard of your house?
Nope.
Come on, Ed. I love water in a yard. For a limited time, my listeners can get a free pocket pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text Dan to 64,000. That's Dan to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. Dan, 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details. A thoughtfully built wardrobe comes down to pieces that mix well and last. That's where Quince shines. Premium fabrics, everyday essentials that feel effortless to wear and dependable, even as the seasons change. Quince works directly with top factories and cuts out the middleman. You're not paying for brand markup or fancy retail stores, just quality clothing. Their cashmere's 100% Mongolian, the same stuff luxury brands use. The Pima cotton is long staple, which means it stays soft and doesn't pill. The European jersey linen is breathable and lightweight. Everything is built to hold up to regular wear and still look good. How's your Quince clothing coming along, fellas?
Wearing my t-shirt today. I'm wearing a Quince t-shirt too, man.
3 out of the 4 of us are wearing Quince shirts right now. Go to quince.com/Tosh for free shipping and a 365-day return. That's a full year to build your wardrobe and love it. And you will. Now available in Canada too. Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last. Go to quince.com/Tosh for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Tosh. My guest today is a world-renowned scientist, researcher, and professor who has dedicated his life to discovering the origins of neurological diseases, so prepare yourself for an hour of me asking questions I know little about. His work is particularly important to me because his expertise includes the rare condition that affects my 9-year-old niece. Please welcome all the way from Texas via Manhattan, Oxford, Calgary, Zambia, Dr. Roy Silito.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Pleasure to be here.
That's a mouthful.
It is. It's been a mouthful getting to all these places.
I mean, had you gone the other direction, I would think, oh, job well done. But to end in Houston, how upset is your wife?
Well, you know, she's been very supportive, but I can say a few places we've left that's been tough. Leaving Vancouver was very difficult.
I mean, beautiful.
I know. That's a tough one.
Are you kidding me? Did you ever go up to Whistler?
Oh, we did. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
just delightful.
Yeah. Yes, it's amazing. I went skiing once.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of an embarrassment for anybody that grew up in Canada that actually don't know how to ski.
Can you ice skate?
I'm not bad. I'm okay.
Let me tell you something. You're a large man.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's a good idea that you ice skate, to be honest with you.
We had to. So part of growing up in Canada is that, you know, PE, you get to play hockey. And so that was my introduction to ice hockey, was in PE. So sort of could skate, and I did my best, but it was not pretty. But I tried.
You're too smart for this, of course, but a bruiser, you know, a guy in ice hockey that just comes out to fight people.
Right.
That could have been your role.
It could have been. But in high school, I was kind of a mommy's boy, so might need my mom to back me up.
All right, here I go. First question. Do you believe in ghosts?
I believe there's something out there. Things are too creepy that there's nothing out there. We all get that feeling, and I don't think it's all in my head. So I think there's something.
I don't like knowing that there's a lot of stuff going on in your head. That scares me. When did you move to Canada? How old were you?
I was 12 years old when I moved to Canada.
From Africa, how was that transition?
It was rough. It was a big deal, actually. So my 2 older brothers were there. One was 16, the other was 18 at the time.
And you were 12.
I was 12. My dad and mom's, vision was to get us out of Africa, to get us an education. I mean, they still lived in Africa. They still do. My mom does. It's one of those other beautiful places that it's hard to imagine we left. But education, this was in the 80s, was the primary goal, to get a better education. So I followed up my brothers who were in Vancouver.
Yeah, so you lived with your brothers they became, the head of the household.
Yes.
How did that work out?
I got to give my dad credit for quick thinking. And, in Africa, there's kind of no rules, right? So that would be perfectly fine in Africa. But after we got there, my dad discovered that nobody would actually rent an apartment to 3 teenage boys. Go figure. So my dad actually offered a very nice couple. He said, I'll give you cash for a year. How does that sound? They said, I'm sure your boys are so fantastic and very responsible. So we looked after each other, actually.
That's not legal, though, right? There's not forget the apartment thing. You can't just have 3 people leave a country and live somewhere else before they're 18.
So my brother could be my legal guardian.
Huh?
Yep.
Oh, if my sister was my legal guardian, my life would have turned out so different. All right, before we start with the reason you were here, your grandfather helped start the MI5 in England. Did your grandfather know Jackson Lamb?
So first, it's my great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather,
but
started the MI5.
He did,
He was part of the group that started it.
Well, he was the head of the MI5.
He was first desk?
Well, so the story goes that he was a law enforcement officer and pretty strict guy. And he was grumpy writing out Ministry of Information room number 5. And so he decided, we're calling it the MI5. The office was there, of course, but he coined the MI5.
Was your great-grandfather James Bond?
Well, he was the real-life James Bond. It was written after him. So, of course, he was a British soldier at the time, and he had gone to Africa during the war and had one son in Africa. And when the war ended, he wanted to come back. He missed Africa, and he knew he had a family. Apparently, the story goes he was trying to take every opportunity to go back. So when De Beers Diamond Company came calling to help solve the diamond smuggling, because at the time he had now retired from the MI5, they figured he would be the man for the job. And he jumped at it, partially because of the challenge, but the other part was to get back to Africa. And the story is that Ian Fleming caught wind of kind of this story, and he kind of adapted it. It sounded, sexy in his mind. And it was an amazing story. So he is the real-life James Bond.
What kind of car did he drive?
I actually don't know. Probably a very cheap car given by law enforcement.
You're the smartest person we've interviewed, and we've spoken to tons of people from Stanford. Explain to me, as if I'm a 4th grader, what your job involves.
So my primary job is research, and I study the brain. I'm trying to figure out how the brain forms, how all its different connections make the brain that you have that gives you the ability to move, to think, to feel. And particularly, I'm interested in not only how it forms, but once it forms, how does it start to work? How are we able to do all the wonderful things that we do as human beings? And that is really the basis of what we're trying to figure out. Over the last 15 years, my thoughts have really changed from not only thinking about how does the brain form and function, but what happens when it doesn't? What are the problems that arise? And so I've really focused my career and will focus the rest of my career in understanding brain diseases.
How many problems can one gene mutation cause?
One gene mutation can cause several. There's many cases where, you have monogenic problems in one gene and one mutation. Those tend to be, dare I say, the simpler problems because we can track them a little easier. But there's many cases where a single gene can have multiple problems. One is a good case, a good example of a gene which causes cerebellar problems. And this gene, if there's a mutation, it will cause a severe problem called ataxia, which is when you cannot coordinate your movements. But a different mutation in the same gene can cause epilepsy. And, it's dramatically different. And very interesting and really intriguing, a third mutation in that gene can cause migraines. So seemingly very different problems, one gene.
Can there be good mutations? I mean, I don't know what good is, but can some gene mutations be that causes something extraordinary in the positive?
I don't think so. I don't have any evidence, at least from the cerebellum, where, there's one problem that causes a dysfunction and a second one resolves it in some way. I'm not aware of that.
I used to get migraines, and then not often,
right?
Once a year. And then one year, 17 years ago, I never had another one. And I never did anything. Why'd that happen?
I actually have a similar story. I grew up with a ton of headache problems as a kid, and I never got them diagnosed as migraines, but they were bad. I mean, I'd basically black out.
I'd black out, I'd vomit.
Yes, me too.
The other side.
Absolutely terrible. When I left Africa, they stopped. Age is one thing. In terms of, migraines, there's so much going on. It's not only a neuro problem, but there's issues with the blood, the vasculature. There's issues with pressure is another one, depending on where you live. So it could be where you actually moved during your life. It could have actually impacted that.
It wasn't that, okay? It was something, but it just stopped. What is a cerebellum and who has one?
The cerebellum is just the coolest part of the brain.
Oh.
This is what I work on. I think it's an obsession now because it's what I love to talk about. It's what I dream about.
You dream about that?
I dream about the cerebellum.
Roy,
I dream about experiments. I'm sorry. I dream about experiments.
Such a nerd.
And half the experiments that I've worked in my lab actually came from dreams.
Oh, I don't know if I like to hear that.
No, I know, but they keep going and going. And
Okay.
I guess I've let the cat out of the bag for all my students. When they say, Roy came up with a crazy idea. Well, I didn't come up with a crazy idea. I dreamt about it.
Okay. Dystonia, what is it?
Dystonia is now considered the third most common movement disease. It's a severe condition. It doesn't typically cause any intellectual problems, but its movement is one of the key problems. It's very common because it can exist with a lot of other common disorders that people talk about, like Parkinson's disease, seizures, and any of the other cerebellar-based diseases. What happens in dystonia is that if you and I try to, for example, flex your arm, the bicep has to contract and your tricep has to relax. And that gives you the ability to move your arm. In dystonia, both muscles contract at the same time, and it contracts and it's uncontrollable.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that can happen to any muscle in the body. You can imagine any muscles in your neck, in your face, in your back. It's excruciating, especially for children. That prevents you from eating, from speaking, from doing anything that you'd normally do on a daily basis. It's a huge problem, dystonia.
Ed, you remember that cheerleader for Washington?
Right, she could only walk backwards.
Yeah, I think it was proven that she was faking dystonia, wasn't it, or no?
Could be. I don't.
There was this one where do you know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about.
Her movements were herky-jerky and all over the place, but she could walk backwards fine.
Yes.
It's not that this is important, but she was a smoke show.
Beautiful.
So she's this hot girl that is normal when she walked backwards, but when she walked forward, the dystonia would go all over the place.
Right.
But I didn't know that it was real.
It is real.
No, I didn't know that her case was real. I thought she was called out.
So she was called out, and I did watch the video.
And you said yes or no?
Well, it looks real. It looks real, but I've never spoken to her to actually see whether it was real.
Did you learn about the video from our show, Tosh.0?
Oh man,
I don't know where I heard about it.
I feel like we launched that. All right, you discovered a gene for dystonia and created it in a mouse, and were eventually able to normalize the mouse's condition by electric stimulation to the right region of the cerebellum. Mice seem to be the go-to animal when testing eventual cures for humans. Is that why we like cheese so much?
It very well could be. We all have a little bit of mouse in us, I'm sure.
What's your mice budget?
It's actually shockingly high.
No, I believe you.
I probably spend about $75,000 a year on mice, which is a lot.
No, I know. All right, so but you did. You gave mice dystonia.
Well, so what we did, we had been studying several different genes that we knew caused dystonia in human. The problem is that, and this is true for many conditions, once we put these mutations in mice, they don't always show the exact same problem that we see in people. In many cases, they do. But for dystonia, it's been problematic. So what we decided, we said, okay, take a break from just mutating the genes, putting them in mouse, looking for dystonia. Let's actually ask, what are we actually trying to solve? And it was the neural problems. It was the functional problem that is caused by those mutations. So we said, let's create a different set of mutations, but block the brain from communicating properly. And this was, we directed the mutation to the cerebellum. And we created a very severe dystonia in mice. And this gave us the opportunity now. We had a mouse with a very severe dystonia. We knew what the problem was. We knew the cells that were dysfunctional. So this, to me, was almost the perfect tool to start to ask, how do we solve this problem? So we started stimulating regions of the cerebellum to resolve it and reverse the movement problems that we induced.
And by stimulate, is it just electrocuting? What are you doing?
Yeah, so great question. So we actually miniaturized what is used in human Parkinson's disease, human dystonia, human epilepsy. It's a surgical therapy called deep brain stimulation. In this case, it is an electrode you put in the brain and you use a tiny current. So it is absolutely electrical stimulation.
And how long will that last?
So you can
Reprogram the brain?
Yeah, so that's one of the ideas we'd love to do. Typically, in your typical deep brain stimulation, you don't reprogram anything. You turn it on. You can turn it off. In some cases, it's chronic. It stays on in Parkinson's disease. The person has kind of a controller that's implanted in the chest, and you can turn it off. Once you turn it off, you go back to having the symptoms. So you bring up a great point. The hurdle we've been facing in the lab is that we've been able to apply the deep brain stimulation in mice for ataxia, for dystonia, for tremor, and it works fantastically well. And some of our procedures, we've worked with neurosurgeons, some colleagues have adapted our protocol, and it works in people as well. The big hurdle is that once you stop stimulating, you go back to having all the symptoms. And we've been asking ourselves, well, how do we make it last? How do we make this procedure fix the brain for good, if you will? And so we have some new data showing that if we call it closed loop. We use the brain's own signals to start the deep brain stimulation. And once things go back to normal, it stops. When it goes back to being abnormal, the deep brain stimulation kicks in again. So we're essentially using the brain to teach itself.
It's like a generator for when the electricity goes out.
Yeah, so it absolutely is. Yes.
That's better than what I would have come up with. I would have just turned the knob a little more.
Turn it up.
Give them a little more juice. See what happens this time, mice. Do you look around Texas and wonder if every other person you talk to has a genetic mutation?
I do, actually. I'm always curious about, I think we all have mutations. We all have tons of mutations.
Okay.
It may just be, it is just, many of us don't realize it because it doesn't impact our lives. But our genomes are full of mutations. And for the unlucky people, it manifests as something that we see as, in my case, a back problem, or even worse cases, a genetic disorder.
How did you come to know my niece?
That's an interesting story. I was friends. This is a colleague. I had met him. We were both postdoctoral fellows. And he was studying a gene that was expressed in the cerebellum. And we had talked for many, many years about working together. He used to work on the retina. And by chance, this gene was expressed in the cerebellar system. And he wasn't super interested in cerebellum. He said, you should use this. I think it could tell you something. And I looked at his data.
That's what I think they'd be talking about. Okay.
And so we kind of kept this up for 20 years.
Uh-huh.
During the pandemic, he reached out to me, and he had moved back to Europe to continue his work in his lab there. And he said, I've been working on this, and it turns out there's a mutation in this gene. And there's kids who have these mutations. And he had been in touch with several people, several clinicians, and he came across your family as well. And so we started chatting and starting to think, well, this wasn't just, again, as scientists, sometimes we find something that looks interesting, and then it turns out that it's super important for people's lives if there's a mutation. And that's where we started to discuss, well, how many people have this mutation? What does the mutation look like? Do they have cerebellar problems? And it turns out that, yes, this is a cerebellar problem, that these kids have ataxia. They have speech issues. So this is how I've come to now learn more about this mutation.
How rare is her mutation?
It's very rare. So far, I think there's only about 30 kids that have been identified with this mutation. So this is very rare. But the problem with rare diseases is that once somebody is identified and the population grows, there are many kids and potentially adults around the world will have similar mutations. We just didn't know this is what they had. And as you mentioned before, the different mutations in a gene, you may have one variant of this mutation is mild, another variant is more severe. And the person with a mild mutation may never actually be discovered.
Explain what POU4F1 is, and if it is also your license plate.
No, it's not my license plate.
Sounds like a confirmation code. Does this have a fun name, or is it just POU4F1?
It's got a fun name. So the genes are named for where they're expressed, and in this case, it's what the region that it's in actually does as a protein.
Got it.
Right? Sometimes they're not fun names. They have a bunch of numbers in them because it's the position, but in this case, this gene, there's other family members as well of the gene, which is why there's several numbers.
That's just the specific one?
Yes.
That she has to do?
Yes.
All right. I mean, I don't know if it's a high priority, but could we rename it? Anybody?
Yes.
Tosh Titus?
There's nomenclature committees out there.
All right.
They love naming genes.
What is causing Hadley's symptoms?
From what I understand, a lot of them would be caused by cerebellar problems, particularly here, any motor issues, speech issues, for sure, are driven heavily by cerebellum.
Is she trapped in her, is she comprehending way more than she's able to express?
That's a great question. So if it's affecting predominantly motor problems, then yes. The intellectual ability is heavily intact. It's exactly as you say, it's expressing that is a big problem.
I mean, is that torture?
It's frustrating for kids and adults with that. It's absolutely frustrating.
Well, how are you trying to treat her mutation?
For the developmental mutations, this is particularly tricky because what happens here is that she's had the mutation growing up. So her brain has developed without the gene functioning normally. So connections and everything she does is how she's formed. There is a possibility that one could think about procedures like deep brain stimulation. What are the issues that bother her most? And are there brain regions, for example, the cerebellum and its connections, that if we stimulate, can restore functions to a point that it helps her quality of life? We need to collaborate better to solve these problems. To solve a genetic mutation like your niece, we need to have pediatric people, we need to have neurosurgeons, we should have neurologists, we should have the basic scientists who are interested in developmental biology, neuroscience, genetics. You need an entire team to tackle these problems.
I mean, the nightmare of, I'm sure that the list is endless, but when you have a child that needs extreme care and hospitals talking to other hospitals, that nightmare of you're basically handcuffed for the rest of your life of I'm never going to live in the bush in Africa.
Right.
I have to be by this specific hospital or I have no shot.
Yeah.
Does Stephanie, my sister-in-law, have your cell phone number?
Yes.
Oh, man. Does she send you long texts?
Yes.
Where you need a medical degree to fucking understand them?
I appreciate them because
I'm sure
because
you can understand them. I'm just trying to get highlights and maybe some cool pics.
I'm from the generation that uses proper punctuation and grammar in text. So when I get a nice long text, it's like an email, which I love.
Yeah, no, that's not me. I'm writing like a child still. I refuse to capitalize. Do you fuck with the medulla oblongata or no?
I do, a lot actually. It's so... Well, POU4F1 does have expression in the medulla oblongata, and it's that connection to the cerebellum that is problematic.
You mentioned millions of people have cerebellum issues and that it's linked to everything from autism to sleep disorders to alcoholism.
Yep.
Dylan back there, his cerebellum, I don't know if you need to look. The guy drinks just constantly, almost doesn't affect him. Is that something we should worry about?
It's not a good thing.
Okay.
So it's not good. So of all the brain regions, the cerebellum is probably the most sensitive to alcohol.
Do you drink alcohol at all?
I do.
You do?
And I suffer the consequences too of after a couple of drinks, your balance goes, your precision goes. That's cerebellum.
Is there a part of the brain you could touch with electrodes that would make Eddie and I better at spelling?
Probably. I would guess there is.
Oh,
but,
wow.
I think it would still take a bit of practice.
You ever see that John Travolta movie where he got struck by lightning and
love
Phenomenon?
that movie. Phenomenon, that's my favorite movie.
You like
Absolutely love that movie.
He was just smart for a month or something like that.
And then he died.
It's worse because he's been smart.
Listen, that's a lot of electricity hitting his brain.
Yeah.
You're not going to live for a long time with that
I
much juice.
Absolutely love that movie.
Yeah, it's so funny. Is AI going to be able to map out the brain soon so that, you can be like, okay, this is where we need to target?
Yeah, it's a hot topic. I mean, everybody is using AI. I think there's a lot of promise in it. The big problem right now is that there's still a lot of information to put into the AI. Let's talk about, the human brain. I say, we study mice predominantly, but we also study human pathology. A few years ago, when I started to really dig in to the human cerebellum and human pathology, even after 30 years of studying this structure, I realized how much I didn't know. And so my kind of question now for AI is, how good can AI get if we don't actually know what the major components are in the nervous system? And maybe AI figures it out. There's a lot of promise, but who knows?
I'm not doing it. It's not for me. How crucial is funding to your work?
Without the funding, I don't have a job. My day is filled with trying to get funding. My own salary is self-generated as a researcher. Anybody I get in the lab, my graduate students, postdoctoral fellows, technicians.
Mice.
Of course, mice, those part of the tools. And then anything else we do, part of the experiments, publications of the papers, going to conferences. And we also have to help support the schools that we're in. Without the funding, there is no science. There's absolutely
the
nothing.
schools can't cut the big checks?
They do. I mean, the schools work hard to raise a lot of funds. They do help, but it takes us all. The way the institutes run, it has to be as a team.
When you specialize in such rare conditions, is it harder to get funding?
Yeah, it is much harder.
I mean, because if you would focus on hair loss, right? The money just pours in.
I'd be my first client.
Well,
but no,
I'd give you a few.
You raise an important point because it's, I don't want to downplay the importance of any of the big diseases that we tackle with tons of money, like cancer is one of them. Rightfully so. The money that has been put into cancer there should be more money in cancer. I wish for the rare diseases we could also do that. But partially, it's a numbers game. If only few people are affected, and there's only so many resources to go around, it's understandable in one way that a lot of the resources go to what is affecting millions and millions of people.
How can people help with funding for your research? Do you have an OnlyFans page?
I do not. But we do have a site that we've created where people can support us.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what we should be plugging instead of trying to sell T-shirts that have Carl's face on it over here. Do some good. For more information or ways to donate to the research, visit giv.now/CSC. Let's be honest. Clothes shopping, not my thing. I just want to walk out the door feeling great in what I'm wearing. Maybe get a compliment or two. Ever order 3 sizes of the same shirt just hoping one fits? Scroll shop, add to your cart, and still end up returning everything. Same here. That's why you need to switch to Stitch Fix. You just take a quick style quiz, share your size, your vibe, and your budget, and boom, you're matched with a real human stylist who handles the rest. You get to be fancy like me and have your own personal stylist. They send you a fix box with clothes that actually fit and make sense for your life, your job, whatever. It saves you time, you look great, and feel confident in what you're wearing. It's no risk, all style. Try it all in the comfort of your home. Keep what works, send back the rest. Shipping and returns are always free, and no subscription required. Plus, get a free try-on for your first order. Just be prepared for compliments. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Tosh. You get $20 off your first order. That's stitchfix.com/Tosh. You don't need a personal trainer to get the results you want. All you need for a personalized workout is Fitbod. Fitbod creates a personalized workout routine based on your goals, fitness levels, and available equipment. The workouts adapt to your growth, so each workout is challenging enough to push you to make progress, but not too challenging that you end up putting a hole in your wall. Fitbod even tracks your muscle recovery, so you can avoid burnout and keep up your momentum. How do they do it? It's fine-tuned by experienced, certified personal trainers to bring best practices and exercise science to you. How's it going over there, Pete? You still using it?
We're still using Fitbod. We're in month 2 with the app.
You're in month 2?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Level up your workout. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app free for 7 days at fitbod.me/Tosh. That's FITBOD.me/Tosh. What do you need a year to make things like, oh, now we're cooking?
For me right now, my lab probably needs about $500,000 to $1 million per year.
Seems totally obtainable.
And that's...
Ed?
Yeah, it is obtainable. And I think that's where we have to spend a ton of our time doing the work. But your question is, if things were rolling, let's say we need to solve the big problems, I say we need 3, 4, 5 times that.
Okay.
Because at the pace we're going, we're finding a lot of interesting stuff about the brain, about biology, about us as human beings. We are identifying disorders, finding genetic mutations. The question we have with the problem, the hurdle, we need to find cures.
Well, how soon are you to actually trying to stimulate like a human brain? Have you done it?
So we have many colleagues that are doing it. For cerebellum, that's just starting now. but it's very slow to get to that point.
You also could, I mean, besides the things you mentioned, you also said you could, like, posture is one.
Yeah.
Because here's what I'm telling you. I'll pay you right now at least 2 years worth of research if you go into my wife's brain and fix her posture. Because the writing's on the wall. I've seen her family. She's going to turn into this hunchback, and it listen, I love her. Don't get me wrong, but at 80, I'm not going to like it.
Right.
It's going to, and I'll sign any waiver that says I don't care what you do. Hell, just go ahead and start poking.
There's many spots I can think of that might help the posture.
Many
I'm not sure
spots.
about the hunchback, but
Well, I mean, it's just going to be there eventually. If you could just go in, zap her a couple times. Hey, listen, if she changes personality, that's a twofer. I'll take it. What do you do to unwind? You have any pastimes?
not really. I go to the gym, hang out with the kids. So for the last 18 years, it's been cerebellum, kids, cerebellum, kids, cerebellum, kids. My son's going to go off to college next year, so we'll have a little more time. Maybe then I'll discover actually of some interests in the world.
Do you work out like a crazy person?
It's early. It's crazy early, but
What time? What time do you get up?
I get up at 4 a.m.
How often? What time do you go to bed?
10:30?
Guess what? I'm gonna give you some advice.
Okay.
You need
You're
a
gonna sleep.
little more sleep.
I know.
A little more sleep.
Yes.
That's not ideal. 10:30 to 4:30? Nah. You need a little bit more. It's not horrible.
Unwinding is hanging out with my wife and kids.
Do your kids work out?
My son started about a year ago. He's always been in sports, but he's never actually worked out until this last year.
Do you do everything with health? Because physicals is a big part of this as well.
Yeah. So what do you mean by everything?
No, I don't know. Like you watch everything that goes into your body food-wise? Do you take, supplements?
So about 3 years ago, like a lot of other guys, you think, oh, I'm doing great. I'm good. I wasn't keeping up with doctor's appointments as I should until I went to the doctor. And he says, your cholesterol is bad. He says, either do something or you're going to die. And I thought, geez, I kind of feel good. But cholesterol problems are one of those issues that, you need a test to look at it. So I had to actually change my eating. So I had to, for the first time, actually watch what I'm eating and try to be good. It's really tough in Texas because the food is so good. And it's so bad for you.
Yeah.
But I try. I try to eat better. I brought my cholesterol down. That's when I went back to the gym despite having the back problems. So I just try to be really careful. That's why I just said, do I work out like a crazy person? Not really. I mean, I try to lift and exercise in an age-appropriate way.
You do cardio?
I do cardio. Yeah, I run every morning as well. So when I wake up, turn on the
gross.
coffee, go running. It helps with the cholesterol. I don't like running. I'm too big to run.
No. You ever tinker around with your own kids' brains?
I used to kind of feel behind their heads, pretending that I could feel and massage the cerebellum. It may have helped, but I definitely did. I wonder what's in there.
Where are you on parents being able to choose their child's features? Like eye, hair color, height, weight, sex?
I think that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know if we can get there.
Oh.
I think that's a tough one.
Everybody that's on the show gets a gift. It's just stuff around my house. You live in Texas, and
I do.
You have a PhD, so here's a putter.
Oh my goodness.
Do you golf?
I've never golfed, but
good.
I will now.
No, but this putter right there is a
right.
former PGA player, Mickey DeMorat. It's my nephew. Was on the PGA. He used that for a bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
This, I don't know why I have this, but it's for your wife or your daughter. They put jewelry in it or something like that. And it's just I just don't want it in my house.
Okay.
Get rid of that.
I'll put it in mine. Thank you.
On the main
That's how the
road.
game works. Look at that. You put it on the floor
love
right
it.
away. Thank you. Talk about your family's hatred for the late, great Kobe Bryant.
Oh, no, we love Kobe Bryant.
Oh, you do?
We just don't like black mambas.
You don't like black mambas. My bad. That's bad intel. Okay, so
Kobe Bryant's amazing.
You're fine with Kobe. You hate black mambas.
Yeah, we don't like black mambas in my family. So my dad's youngest brother was killed by a black mamba.
Can you do anything? How long do you have?
You don't have much time. You have minutes.
And you don't feel their bites as much because their teeth are so thin.
That's right. And then they strike several times. On every strike, you'll have multiple penetrations.
What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to just not play as a child?
I mean, that's living in the bush in Africa. The snakes, lions, elephants. That's how it is living out there.
Well, I mean, I tell you what, that's a pretty big strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the story is if you see a black mamba, where you're not going to tell the story about it.
I don't like that. Describe your dream scenario of what this electric stimulation technology will be able to do in 10, 20 years.
Right now, we're at a point that we've got a platform where we can train the cerebellum to almost fix itself. And we've done several studies now, and this is, we've applied for a patent, which is very exciting, that after we stop stimulating, the mice actually continue to do very well. And these are mice with dystonia. They show almost no signs of dystonia after 3 months without stimulation. So this is a case where we've created the dystonia by blocking communication. The next point is, how do we take the stimulation and pair it with a gene therapy? That, for me, is going to be the dream. How do we fix the brain communication, but actually, how do we also fix the genetics and the molecular pathways? I think they all have to go together to actually reverse all of the symptoms that we want to reverse. That, for me, is going to be the dream scenario. And on top of that, have it completely non-invasive. So you walk into a clinic, you have some kind of stimulation, some kind of therapy that actually fixes your brain communication, activates certain genes, dampens the bad genes, and you walk out.
And that's obtainable in 10 years, 20 years?
20 years, maybe, at least, for the brain stimulation part, for sure. There's a lot of non-invasive techniques coming on. For the genetics and molecular, that's partially me dreaming.
Okay. This one's for Eddie. I'll give Eddie one. Could Jesus' DNA be extruded from the Shroud of Turin?
Mm-hmm.
And then could that DNA be used in a lab to bring about the second coming of Christ? Eddie has had a theory on this for many years. I'm pitching rat Jesus. If we could create
Yes.
a Jesus duplicate in a rat, that would be...
We start there.
You
and then
know,
we build.
it's wild, but that is actually a trivial experiment to do. That is very possible.
All right.
Scary enough.
You get some-
It's
I'll give
you
very
my binder.
possible.
You get some funding in Texas, you start creating rat Jesus.
There we go. We're in.
Thank you for being here, Dr. Roy Silito. Silito,
Thank you.
that's your last name?
That is my last
Oh,
name.
I didn't even have a question about that. Your parents are, how do I put it, Florida well-to-do. How much money does your dad actually make? You know how much money he gets paid?
No,
You don't?
no.
Do you like Kiowa?
Kiowa, yeah.
You guys love to go there. Heading up to South Carolina. You guys got to come. It's like other places. How are you feeling right now? How's your health?
Good.
When's the last time you were sick?
Videos.
3 years since you were in the hospital?
Yeah.
I mean, this is like record straight. What is magic medicine?
That helps me.
It helps you?
Yes.
Magic medicine's what old Dr. Roy is working on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Hadley, thank you for being on my show.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a good day. Let's go surfing. Oh, this is some fancy bracelets you got.
Puppy duck.
Oh, is it a doggy?
Yeah.
I had a duck once.
Wow.
My mom bought me a duck. And then I was like, we had it in a thing in the backyard. And then like it just immediately flew away or was eaten. I don't know. Just left. I was like, I'm not going to stay here in this tiny little thing. Didn't have a roof over it. It was a bad gift.
Tosh Show.
I want to thank Hadley and Dr. Roy for being on the show. And my brother-in-law, so excited that he got a pair of shoes
That's right.
because his size has never lined up with my hand-me-downs. So what a treat for him today. You're sad because Hadley's leaving. Nobody gives you more love than she does. Yeah. Well, we'll have to go to Florida, which I know puts all of us into a slight depression. But that's what we got to do. Got to go see the family. Let's do some plugs. Patreon.com/Tosh Show for some extra content. The stuff that was too hot for the internet. My first farewell tour. Tickets are on sale now. We're heading out this week, Ed.
We're going.
Oh, we got so many pizza spots to hit up in Indiana.
Who knew Indiana was so full of pizza spots?
Or is your buddy going to be at the show?
I think he told me he's already got tickets to 2 shows in the Midwest.
2?
2.
You only need to get tickets to 1 show, and then just remember the material.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well,
The pressure is on.
I cannot. There's no pressure on me. Pressure's on you and your buddy Hutch.
Hutch. Maybe he'll join us for one of these pizzas.
I'll buy Hutch a slice. I'm not going to get him a whole pizza.
Get him a whole pizza, and we just leave. He
What?
sits there with the whole pizza.
No, I'm not giving him a whole. He can have a slice.
A slice. I'm
Now,
excited.
I've been hearing about that Stromboli pizza.
It seems like a pizza folded up, right?
No, it's got to be something special.
It's got to be, but I don't think it is.
All right.
Who knows? We'll try it.
ToshShowStore.com. Get some merch. And now, hit the music for They Love Me, They Love Me Not. This is where Eddie reads some comments. 1 positive, 1 negative. We have to figure out which is which. All right, what's the first one you got, Eddie?
Here we go. This is from Elizabeth Gleaton 1598.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Yeah, thanks also to Daniel Tosh for highlighting non-celebrities who do important work and jobs.
Well, you're welcome. I appreciate your comment.
There you go.
Okay? That obviously is They Love Me, even though that one just seemed more kind of like They Appreciate Me, which is a different segment.
Mm.
Okay? I wanted like They Love Me. I want to see like, oh.
Yeah, something a little thicker.
Oh, yeah.
Bring it, commenters. All right, here's the other one.
Next one?
You should know better, V2. First time I gave up on a Tosh Show interview. I just can't do it.
Oh, they didn't like the interview, and what show was that from? That's an important piece of the information here.
Yeah, I don't have that. I got to find that.
I mean, because that could have been from our travel agent. A lot of people felt the same way.
Right.
But if that was from my wife, what am I to do?
Mm-hmm.
I live with the person. I love the person.
Yep.
And now I got to be like, oh, well, I got to get rid of her?
We don't even know which one to go back and look at to take the notes and see what we can do better.
Well, the good thing is, next week, it'll be somebody new sitting across from me. See you next week.
Tosh Show. Tosh Show. Tosh Show for show.